What's going on, good people? It is your man, Dito. It is another day's journey, and I am super, and I do mean super glad about it. Want to welcome everybody to Shop Talk, everyone's favorite show, right here on everyone's favorite network. You know what it is, it's already going down. And for the next hour, we are going to take this journey that is called Shop Talk. Want to welcome those of you who may be watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, or if you're even joining us on Instagram today, we are glad to have you hanging out with us. Now, if you're not watching us live, it's all good. If you're watching a rebroadcast of this show, it's all good. Continue to chime in the chat and let us know what you think about today's show. But also want to take a moment, as I do every week, to give a special shout out and a thank you to our radio partners from around the country that play Shop Talk on their networks around the country. We appreciate your love. We appreciate your kindness. And we thank the listeners that listen to those radio stations and hear us as well. It's going to be a great, great day. Now, before we get going, just want to remind you, if you've never tuned into Shop Talk before, first of all, you need to know that my name is Demetrius Toll-Free. How do you know? Because it says so right there. Anyway, you can follow me everywhere at D Toll-Free. That is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything that you can think of, social media, as well as digital currency. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Everything is at D Toll-Free. All right, now before we get going in today's show, before we bring up our first co-host, let me slow down enough to tell you that if this is your first time tuning in and you're trying to figure out what is this whole Shop Talk thing, I got you. Let me explain it to you. It's that, you know what it is. It's that beauty shop, that barber shop, that nail shop, that coffee shop, and even that, thank you, Lord Jesus, that donut shop talk. Yeah, it is, where literally no person and no subject is off limits. Listen, today is going to be an incredible show, one for the ages. Now, before we jump into the show, let me remind you, those who may be catching us today, which is our normal day, today is our last day streaming on this day. So starting next week, we're going to move one day over. So instead of us live streaming on Wednesdays, we're going to start live streaming on Thursdays, the same time, but just one day over in the week. So please mark your calendars. We'll remind you as we go throughout the show that we are moving days, but it's all to the good, and we will do what we can to make things happen. Let me give a quick shout out to, where would I be without this person, Allegra Toll-Free, in the building. Thank you, Lord Jesus. And she is saying good morning to us. Shout out to my bro Carlos out in Nashville from Urban Soul Cafe in the building. What is going on? Shout out to my guy, Minister James Pugh, in the building. Yes, man, I go to the nail shop all the time. Every time I go in there, oh my God, you Betty Big. We charge you double. No. Anyway, shout out to James Pugh in the building. Shout out to the big sis, Andrea Clark, in the building, and so many more. Continue to chime in the chat, and I will do what I can. Yeah, they like, we charge you double. No, anyway, they always want to call their friends. Look at him feet. Oh my God. Anyway, let's get ready to keep things going. Lord, y'all pray for me. Anyway, as we get ready to keep things going today, let's get ready to bring up our first co-host out in the city of Hercules, California. And she missed last week. She called in sick. She used a vacation day. She used PTO, as we call it, where we are from. But nonetheless, no, I didn't like that. Do it one more time. Yeah, that's better. Come and knock at my door. Come and knock. Hey, let's get ready to go out to Hercules and bring up my homegirl and yours. She's been by my side the whole Shop Talk journey from day one. This is my day one with Shop Talk. Let's bring her up without further ado. My homie and yours, the incredibly talented Ashlyn Tara Cole. Ashlyn, girl, what's going on? Well, you got to unmute yourself first of all.
Look and listen. Let me tell you, you got to take care of them day ones. You do. You got to recognize those day ones. Those people that knew you when you were struggling, when you were just starting off, when all you had was a little idea. You got to remember those day ones. And we have so many day ones, D-Toll, that still tune in to Shop Talk and that are faithful Freedom Radio listeners and all of that stuff. And we just love you. And you know, we really just love you and appreciate you. And we would be in the funny farm if we didn't have an audience. If it was just us on here and we had no audience, we will be, how my mother would say, on the funny farm.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm grateful.
I'm glad to have you. Yeah, I'm grateful too. Glad to have you hanging out with us. Shout out to the homie David McKinney up in Sacramento, who has become a mainstay around here at Shop Talk, and we are glad to have you hanging out with us. Speaking of hanging out with us, let me just take a moment to remind everyone a couple of things. One thing in particular that I want to remind you is to make sure that you take a moment and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take a moment to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you're probably saying, well, how do I do it? Don't worry. All you have to do is just scan that code up above my shoulder, and it will take you directly to our YouTube page. As we're getting ready to change some things and go forward in music ministry and ministry. Let me stay churchy. As we get forward, move forward in ministry here at Freedom Radio, we want you to be able to make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. As you know, Facebook, which has been a friend of ours from day one, but they now only allow you to have videos to stay on your page for 30 days, whereas with YouTube, you can keep it on there forever. I think that's how Cardi B said at that time, forever. Anyway, you can be able to scan that QR code and be able to make things. I watch too much Love and Hip Hop. Anyway, let's get ready to keep things going. First of all, Ashlyn, I haven't seen you in a while, in the flesh, as my grandmother would say. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm really good. I would say God is working on me lately. I feel like Jacory and I have been we've been sitting at the table, at the dining room table, having really deep conversations just about church and life and what it is to be a minister of music, a worship leader, and I really feel like stretched and pulled to go deeper, not higher, but deeper in the Lord. And I there's this big word that I think that we forget to talk about in church, and it is called discipleship. And I think that we have really forgotten that is the call of Jesus. If you're a follower of Christ, he said, go ye therefore and make disciples. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if if church is just entertainment. We become psychologists and counselors and therapists, and we take on we try to make people feel better.
Yeah.
Is that going to help them through? Like, if the joy of the Lord is your strength, but you don't know what the basis of the joy, these are all the things that are going on in my head. So yesterday was my mother's birthday. And so that's always tough. She's been gone this year's 11 years. So I think that, it makes the time contemplative. Am I doing enough? Am I teaching enough? Am I growing enough? Am I giving enough? Am I serving enough? And so it's an interesting season right now. It's an interesting season right now. But thank you so much for asking. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. You mentioned your mother's birthday on yesterday, which was Tuesday. The day before, which is the 27th, was the anniversary of my mother's passing. So I'm right with you in that whole concept. My mother passed on the 27th. And it has now been 32 years, but it seems like yesterday. And so, so I'm feeling you in that season that you're in of being contemplative. I like the way that you put that out there, and it is all to the good. We'll keep talking about that as we go. Speaking of as we go, shout out to my cousin D, Delonda Johnson in the building. What is going on? And Carlos, he's such a hilarious person out there in Nashville. He says the Shop Talk Noontime Bible Study. He says preaching in an international evangelist. It is all good. Listen, speaking of it all being all good, let's get ready to keep things going. We're going to stay in the city of Hercules. We're going to go out from Ashlyn's G14 classified portion of the city, and then we'll make a couple rights, a couple lefts, and look up in the cul-de-sac. And up there's a little red door that you can knock on. I think it's red. I could be wrong, but just work with me as I talk about it. And then we get a at the door. And when we do, it means it's time to bring up Ashlyn's bestie, my guy as well. Let's bring him up without further ado, the one and only Ja'Cory Prothro. Ja'Cory, man, what's going on?
You know what? I just realized I had not subscribed. So we're going to have to figure out a way to people take a picture when you subscribe and do like a giveaway or something so we can get these numbers on the rise.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. So you hadn't subscribed to the Freedom Radio YouTube page.
I am now.
But you know what? It's all is forgiven because you've done it now. It is all to the good, man. We are glad to have you hanging out with us. Welcome to the show. And I am grateful to have the both of you hanging out with us. Listen, as we get ready to go into the show, we got a bunch of stuff to cover. Let me just give you a quick overview of what has happened in the Bay Area last week. Of course, we got a chance to have the incredibly talented B. Slade in the building. And again, thank you, Deshaun Little, for making that happen. And of course, you as well, Ja'Cory. We got a chance to see him both on Sunday night and, of course, to see him finally perform on Monday. Sunday night, shout out to Leonard Bailey and friends for an incredible, what I thought was just a video recording, turned out to actually be another recording. He's recording a new album. And so it was absolutely amazing. It was there at Genesis Worship Center in Oakland, California. Shout out to Bishop George Matthews, my bro, for allowing them to be there. Incredible time. Shout out to Marcus McCauley, who did an amazing job capturing the video essence of it all. And we had a couple hiccups, but that's to be expected. But once the hiccups was gone, once we drank some water and got rid of the hiccups, everything was absolutely amazing. So shout out to Leonard Bailey for having an amazing, amazing event. And then the next night, we went to Oakland to Yoshi's. I looked for Ashton. I looked for Corey. Anyway, but I was at Yoshi's on Monday. Got a chance to be there for the single release of the Bishop Vincent Manyweather, now with his stage name of Servant, which I'm not mad at it. He got a chance to grace the stage. Of course, James Jackson and the All-Stars. And of course, as we mentioned, B. Slade. Incredible time out. Very interesting presentation of the whole night, but it is one that will not be forgotten for quite a while. And we were grateful to be able to be there. Shout out to my bro, Stephen Parker, who is in the building, who hosted the event on Monday night. Always grateful to see Stephen, man. He's my bro. He always makes me laugh. And yes, sir, Jonathan Johnson. It was a busy weekend. Jonathan, I saw him at Genesis, and he came up on a song and cut up in his little burgundy suit. He was cutting up being Jonathan. Yeah, but it was all good. But listen, enough about all of that, y'all. It's time to make things happen. So in doing so, let's get ready to start with today's National Day. Let's do it that way. Let's start with today's National Day. And I only have two, Ja'Cory. I did it just for you. I only have two. So today, I should have had a jacket on because today is National Zipper Day. National Zipper Day. For those of you who wear jackets or whatever it is, today is National Zipper Day. That's what it is. And then secondly and lastly, I may take this up. Today is National Shrimp Scampi Day. National Shrimp Scampi Day. Now, I paused that this wasn't even on my notes, but based on my studying, today's National Shrimp Scampi Day. And those of you who like Red Lobster, you know, that they barbershop, Ice Cube and them, they said that that's upscale. But if you are a shrimp scampi person, Red Lobster has just reintroduced their unlimited shrimp. So you can now go back to Red Lobster and be able to get your unlimited shrimp on National Shrimp Scampi Day. Now I'm going to change the angle because I see Ashlyn over there cutting up. Go ahead, Ashlyn.
I think that's how my brain works. Okay. I mean, this is the clear side of me. Okay. Just give me a minute. This is the clear side. If you have Red Lobster all over the United States, I don't know how many Red Lobsters there are. And every Red Lobster is doing unlimited shrimp. And let's say 100 people come into every single Red Lobster and they each order the unlimited shrimp. Where are they getting these shrimp from? That's like 100,000 million, trillion, billion shrimp. Where are they getting these shrimp from? This is how my brain works. Are they growing them in the back? Are they growing them? Are they genetically modifying the shrimp in the back? Are they cloning the shrimp? Where are they getting the shrimp? Where are the shrimp coming from? That's just what I'm saying. So I usually don't. Yeah, if I do seafood, I do like Dito. Now Dito is a seafood buff. You know what I'm saying? He loves him some seafood. You look at his social media, you're gonna see plates and plates of dinners and different experiences that he's had with seafood. Okay, crab legs, the whole nine. Okay, he is a connoisseur when it comes to seafood. Okay. But what I like to do is really, is like go to those specialty places. I have a hard time. Like I remember we were in Atlanta and they tried to take me to like, what's it called? The crab bucket or something like that. And they was bringing out crabs. And when I said like hundreds of crabs, I said, no, where are they getting these crabs? Are they growing them in the lab in the back? So but you know what? We're overdue. This trio right here, this tree right here, all trio us, we are overdue for a meal. So if today is the day that we get together for a meal, I'm not mad at it.
But the best shrimp scampi is not at Red Lobster. It's actually in your kitchen. But if you go to the Cheesecake Factory, they shrimp scampi is good too.
Now you're right on that. Now the flesh and blood did not reveal that. You are right on that. So, Allegra's already, text me like, when you get off the show, what are we doing? I'm hungry. So you never know where we gonna end up. You never know what city we will be.
The creek is right there.
I feel you.
Concord is right there.
I feel you. I'm not mad at it. Shout out to my bro, Louis Sweat Butch out in Texas. Right out Houston is in the building. What's going on, man? Shout out to my friend, my sis, Sidria Clark in the building from Stockton, California. She's also in the building. Again, my cousin D chimes in. She says, definitely, I'm a seafood person, about to make some shrimp and grits now. Oh, okay, D. You might need to holler at your cousin and let me know what's going on. But
your address is
right, exactly. We may have to have a meetup, a family meeting. Anyway, with all of that said, we're going to keep things going, and in doing so, I'm going to stop because. No, I'm going to keep going because I was going to do something else, but I'm going to do this really quickly. So now I'm going to do very quickly. I'm going to do today in history, and then we will throw it out to Ashlyn for her portion of what she likes to do. Y'all pray for me. Anyway, so today in history, three things I want to mention very quickly. In 1974, is that the year you was born, Ashlyn? I think that was in 1974. President Nixon.
Not sure why we had to mention that on the air, but yes, that is the year I was born. Absolutely. Yes.
My bad. That's me throwing you off. Anyway, in 1974, the then President Richard Nixon announces the release of edited transcripts of White House tape recordings related to the Watergate scandal. So many of you who
the Epstein files.
That's the latest one. That's the latest one. Yes. So the Watergate scandal from 1974, this is the date that President Nixon announced the release of those particular notes. Further in 1992, a little further on, thank you, Ashley, for throwing this one in here. A jury in Simi Valley, California, acquitted 4 LAPD officers of using excessive force in the beating of Rodney King, which you all remember triggered violent riots that resulted in 55 deaths. I remember that whole Rodney King thing as if it was just last week. I remember it back then I was still a young fella. I was, early 20s when this happened. And I know Ashley, you was a teenager. Corey, you probably was still in diapers. But anyway, I remember this particular incident as if it was yesterday. And man, oh man, the riots that happened, all the crazy, and it didn't just happen in LA. It happened in the Bay Area as well. Maybe not to the degree of it was in LA, but man, oh man, what a crazy time that was. Grateful that we all made it through it and we're still here to talk about it and tell the story. Anyway, last but not least, in terms of today in history, 2004, the final Oldsmobile. Many of you don't remember the Oldsmobile. My mama had one. I wrecked it. But anyway, the final Oldsmobile is built in Lansing, Michigan, ending 107 years of production. So that is actually, crazy. Again, my mama had a Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra, and it was 1986. And I remember being in San Francisco. Somebody ran a red light and hit me and totaled out the car. I just knew my mama was gonna kill me, but she said, "Boy, as long as you good, we can get another car. I just can't get another you." So anyway, all right. Enough with that. Listen, let's keep things going. And Ashley, now is your turn. I throw it out to you as you like to enter in with Today in Black History. I'll throw it out to you.
That just touched my heart. That just touched my heart. You know, sometimes parents, we don't get it right. You know what I mean? We don't really get it right. And she got it right that day. She got it right that day. Wow, wow, wow. I can get another car. I can't get another you. My. Okay. So today in Black History, I just been on my heart to do this every week. And so that's what it is. Yep. The clear person is bringing you Black History. Amen. So I know that we're going to get into birthdays, but I do want to mention a couple birthdays here. In 1945, singer Tammy Terrell was born in Philadelphia, known, of course, for her duets with Marvin Gaye. Now, if you have not watched I don't know if it's an unsung Tammy Terrell, it's probably not unsung, whatever her documentary is, you would really want to watch a documentary about Tammy Terrell. Her life was, oh my God, for somebody so beautiful and young and gifted, it's tragic. I don't use that word very often about, people's lives, but wow, her story was really tragic. So Tammy Terrell, we celebrate you today. Duke Ellington was also born on this day in 1899. Did y'all know that Duke Edward Kennedy Duke Ellington was born in Washington, D.C. in 1899, not 1990, 1899. That's a long periodical time. In 1954, Lincoln University was chartered in Pennsylvania as the Ashman Institute, becoming the nation's first degree-granting historical Black institution. That's Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, 1854. Master P was born on this day in 1970. And you mentioned the riots already. And that's all I have today in Black History here on Shop Talk.
It's all good. Well, I mean, you covered the birthdays that I had as well, so we'll just move on. As we get ready to move on, we're getting ready to bring up our next guest co-host out in Charlotte of North Carolina. And as we always do, we always give the knock at the door. But before I bring her up, I just want to mention something. We're talking about the different seasons that all of us are going through. Well, all of, me and Ashton just mentioned the different things that we're experiencing with the loss of our mothers. And it happens. Life happens. We grieve and we move on and do what we can. But listen, each person has their own season. Ja'Cory is going through a new season as he's now available for praise and worship or your concerts or whatever might be available. If you need someone to come and do musical presentations for you, feel free to reach out to Ja'Cory. He is the man. Not just for funerals. He is the Bay Area's funeral singer, but he is more than just that. Feel free to reach out to my bro. If you need someone to come and sing, praise and worship, workshops, concerts, tours, whatever it might be, he is available. But this next young lady we're getting ready to bring up, I want to just put this on the screen that she is getting ready to do some things. She is working on some projects, and in particular, this coming summer, she has made it that it's going to be this summer 2026, that new music is coming forth from out of her belly, from out of her throat, from her voice. She is an amazing graphic designer. We already know that. But now, coming this summer, we will get to experience her musical journey as she and the JB Factory work together to come together to make some music that will be added to all of our playlists, of course, as we always do. But I wanted to just mention before she came up, hopefully she's not back there getting emotional, nothing like that. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that we know that this young lady is preparing to release some brand new music. I am so excited for her. I hope that our listening audience and viewing audience will be just as excited for her as well. Let's get ready to bring her up without further ado. My homegirl of yours, the incredibly talented Yolanda Wild Praise Morant. Yolanda, welcome to the show. What is going on?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little out of sorts. I apologize.
It's okay. Why you working on it? No, it's all good. While she's working on that, let me throw this out there one more time so that that you all can know that this wonderful young lady has some incredible music that she is working on, and I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait for us to debut it. I can't wait for us to make it come to fruition. We're going to make it happen. We're going to get behind her and push her like she has pushed us individually as well as collectively over these last few years. So my homegirl is with us. I'm going to remove the flyer. Yolanda, girl, what's going on? Welcome to today's show.
Hi. So
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can barely hear you, so you might need to turn your mic up or make sure it's connected. Ja'Cory, he's always. No, you're all good. You are all good. Listen, I can hear you. You're a little faint, but I can hear you. We hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we want to hear your testimony, baby.
There
Come
you
on now.
There you go. Good stuff.
You can hear me now? McDonald's mic. All right. So, hey, everybody. Happy. Thank you, Naaman. So first, thank you. I'm trying to pull myself together for many reasons. Okay, so thank you so much. I did not expect you to post that today, but yes. So shout out to James Brown, the prolific. He probably like I said that, but the prolific producer James Brown. He's worked with everybody, television shows back in the day. People used to have live music on television shows. Bishop Paul Morton, anybody you can think of. He's the whole reason that I met my musical hero Vanessa Bell. He worked with her when he was about 16. That was his first major. So all those things, I'm super happy, super excited. Yes, it's very, very overdue, but I think timing is everything, right? And so I could be sad and tell y'all crazy stories about to this moment, but I'm grateful. So thank you.
And we're grateful to have you with us. And I know people are probably wondering, why is she in the way that in the mode that she's in? I'll tell you. Listen, I got an opportunity in 2019. No, 2000. Was it 2019 or 9? 2014.
14.
That's when I came to Denver.
Yes.
Okay, so 2014, I got an opportunity by invitation to come to Denver, Colorado. I say Denver, but it's really Yolanda Morant, Colorado, because when I got there, the whole city was based around this young lady. I got a chance to go to Denver in 2014 to celebrate with, I believe, at that point was your 35th birthday. Is that what we were celebrating at that point?
Yeah, 30 something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do know my numbers person. Anyway, so at that point, I was invited to come. She was doing a concert, and she invited me to be the MC. And we went, had a wonderful time. But during that whole weekend, not only did I get a chance to MC, she didn't have an organist for the concert that she was preparing for. And thankfully and gratefully, she trusted me enough to play a couple of notes on the organ behind her. But during that weekend, I got a chance to meet a young man that was absolutely amazing. I had seen him traveling with the incredible Kurt Carr. He had been to Oakland. We had met in Oakland, but didn't get a chance to have or create a friendship until this particular weekend in Denver. We became friends thanks to the introduction of Yolanda Morant. And even after that weekend, we stayed in contact as much as we could. And just the other day, got the incredible news that he has now closed his eyes and went on to be with the Lord. But I just want to stop here to mention the passing of the incredible Maurice Rogers. Many people just called him Reese, but Maurice Rogers, keyboardist extraordinaire from North Carolina, has closed his eyes and went on to be with the Lord. I remember one of our conversations not long ago, well, a couple years ago, his pastor had came to my church and was coming there to preach, who was an amazing vocalist as well as a preacher, Bishop Stenneth Powell. And I had reached out and called Maurice to say, hey, man, your pastor's here today. What key he singing? What key do he preach in, man? And we just laughed. And certainly he is going to be missed. So we just want to stop at this moment just to offer our condolences to his family, his friends, and everyone that is affected by the loss of this incredible friend and musician, Maurice Rogers. We will be praying for his family as we move forward regarding this. All right, y'all, let's get ready to keep things going. And in doing so, first of all, again, thank you, Yolanda, for inviting me back in, and thanks for letting me play and all those great things. It is all good.
I just can I
Yep.
just 2 minutes.
Absolutely.
In
Go right
truth,
ahead.
it was a phenomenal day, and I'm just grateful. I'd say that sometimes, being an artist is not as easy as people think, and sometimes following your dreams is not as easy as people think. And Maurice, or Reese, as most people called him, often fussed at me about not skipping steps. And so, even though this thing happened, they said, "Why didn't you get an organist?" And so it came in, and it just worked, and it just flowed, and it was amazing, and it was magical. And I just remember that weekend he kept saying, "No, you can't skip steps. You are who you are." And he never, ever, ever, no matter what, allowed me to do nothing less than the best. Always. It was always like that. You have to do this right. People are watching you, people see you, you're gonna be amazing. You're one of the greatest I know. You've played with everybody, like in other countries, right? So never discount who you are, because you never know who your life is impacting. Thanks.
Absolutely. That's good stuff. You're exactly right. You never know who you're going to impact. And again, that young man on that particular weekend made an indelible impression upon me, and one that I will never forget. All right, y'all, let's keep moving. And in doing so, Ashlyn, I'm throwing it out to you because you want to give us an update about the Oakland airport. Well, is it Oakland, San Francisco? What?
Oh my goodness. They've just gone back and forth about this. They were calling it the San Francisco Bay Area Airport, and then people were getting lost. Like, they would type in the airport and it would take them actually to SFO as opposed to OAK, which is the Oakland International Airport. I'm not sure what the politics are behind it or anything like that, but they have now settled. They have now settled on a name for the airport, and no, it's not the Oakland International Airport. It's not. It should be. It absolutely should be. But KTVU, Channel 2 here in the Bay Area, reported on this, and they have finally settled the airport battle. So if you're not familiar with this at all, it's been the last 2 years. It's been a legal battle between the San Francisco airport and the Oakland airport. 2 years they've been going back and forth. And so the Port of Oakland is going to call it Oakland San Francisco Bay Airport.
Oh my God.
Oakland,
Ridiculous.
San Francisco Bay Airport. So in 2024, San Francisco sued the Port of Oakland, which first wanted to rename Oakland International Airport to San Francisco Bay Oakland International Airport, SFBOIA. Like, why? Alleging that the name infringed on San Francisco International Airport trademark. So they finally have settled, but it is going to look, I don't care what they call it. I'm still going to call it Oakland International Airport. That's the name of the airport. It is OAK. Why would they need to change it? So I don't even know. I'm glad that the battle is over. Don't shout till the battle is over. Shout now. Oh, my bad. Okay. But yeah, they settled, and I still don't understand why San Francisco has to be in the title. Why would you put San Francisco in the title? It's not San Francisco. It's Oakland.
To confuse people.
I don't get it.
And that's what it is. And so
I guess so.
And that's what happened. You're exactly right, Ashley. There were some people who flew into Oakland because of the name change, thinking that they were in San Francisco, and they had to catch Ubers and try to call people to come pick them up. Their friends was at the wrong airport, and y'all know how it can be, especially if it's the weekend, trying to get from the San Francisco airport to the Oakland airport. There should be like a little shuttle. We can't do a trolley, like a trolley that's on the water. Have you, like, I know in Jack London there is little. I may be on something. I know in Oakland there is a little shuttle, little taxi that takes you on the water from Jack London Square just over to Alameda. But there should be some. I mean, I know people can catch BART, but there should be something, some sort of something on the water to get you from Oakland Airport, because they're on the water, over to San Francisco Airport because they're on the water. There should be some sort of way to make it happen.
Well, here's the thing. This is what it's giving. Okay, can I just say here's what it's giving? San Francisco wants to be in the pockets of Oakland, but they don't want to be in the fellowship and family of Oakland.
I know it. Yeah.
That's what it's giving. So you want to take money out of Oakland. You want to financially gain from Oakland. You want to exploit Oakland, but you don't want a fellowship. You don't want to go to the same church as Oakland. You just want to be the bishop over Oakland, right? Yeah. And I don't like that. I don't like that because it's not giving togetherness. Okay,
yeah,
it's not giving togetherness.
I'm with you.
So and I think that San Francisco need to take all the seats. They need to take all the seats. And I'm a San Francisco girl. I grew up in San Francisco, but they need to take all the seats because Oakland is doing fine at our airport. In fact, the TSA, not one TSA was off work. There was no delay in the timing for the flights when TSA was going through all, HE double hockey sticks all across the country. Oakland was in full effect, not affected. You know why? Because those workers were like, we going to work. The people need us. I talked to them and they said, no, people need us. So we're going to show up to go to work. So shout out to Oakland International Airport. And that's what we're going to keep calling it.
Absolutely. And I mentioned this and thank you, Jonathan Key, for reminding me that it's a ferry. Thank you, man. I had a brain moment that I couldn't think of it. So thank you for that, for reminding me, Jonathan Key. Then my cousin says, San Francisco has their own airport. Oakland needs to worry about other things like crime reduction. I'm not mad at that. And I will mention, and Ashton talks about this whole thing between San Francisco and Oakland. It goes deep. It goes deep, from sports. You can't root for the A's and the Giants. You can't root for the Raiders and the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? It's the only thing we can come together on is basketball, but everything else, everything is just divided. We're like Crips and Bloods. It's just crazy how divided the Bay Area can be when it comes to things like that. But I go to San Francisco to kick my feet up a thing long. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't mad at San Francisco. They ain't did nothing to me. But we definitely should have that Oakland stay Oakland in terms of the airport, San Francisco stay San Francisco, and we'll move on from there. All right, y'all, we're going to keep things going. I got a funny story to bring up in just a second, but before we do that, let's get ready to bring up our next co-host. I always laugh when I'm getting ready to bring this young man up. Out in Atlanta, Georgia, my guy, we always got to get at the door. Let's get ready to bring him up. The original and only Hallelujah morning man himself. Let's bring him up. Demetrius Hunter, man, what is going on? Welcome to today's show.
Come and knock on my door. Good morning, afternoon, good evening to everybody out there in Freedom Radio Land. It's so good to be here. Great to join another great edition of Shop Talk. I know y'all be like, okay, we've been on here for 30 minutes. You come on here like the show just started.
38.
I did, because it just started because I'm here.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, man.
It's actually 38 minutes. 38 minutes. 30,
well, I've been sitting in the green room for the past 9.5 minutes, Ashley.
We put some chips and grapes over there.
I was having some chips and hors d'oeuvres that, Shop Talk has gotten the back over here. Yeah. So I was waiting, my turn to come on in.
Well, we're glad
to all you wonderful people.
Yeah, well, we're glad you made it in. You come in at a good time. I was just getting ready to remind us of a story that I saw on Instagram that really, really made me laugh. Let me bring you up to speed on why I can't stop laughing. So in Africa, in Africa, men can have as many wives as they can afford. Don't try that in the United States, but in Africa, you can have as many wives as you can afford. Shout out to my cousin, the Bishop Darrell Andreas Shaw out in Fort Worth, Texas. What's going on, cuz? He talking about he's rolling, cracking up. Anyway, out in Africa, this one person has 12 wives.
My
Somebody
God.
need to do the math on this. He has 12 wives, 102 children,
Mm,
and 578 grandchildren. And now he says he's finally done.
my God.
Now he says he's finally done. He has 12 wives. I got to get my
How
math.
much money does he
That's
have? Because I know they have to have.
8.5 children per wife. 8.5 children per wife.
Okay,
Well,
so
one of the wives got an extra hole. A couple got an extra whole child. No, not.
Okay.
No,
Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. 'Cause
Let me interpret. Because a woman can't have a half a baby is where I was going. So that's what I'm
okay.
saying.
Help me.
A few of those wives got a whole child.
I got nervous. I was like, wait a minute. This is a church. You know what I
Oh,
get ready to say?
God.
I tell you,
God.
this is what I mean. This is what I mean.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I didn't know what you were trying to say, but and when you started talking, I was like, wait.
Now y'all know I can say some darndest things, but now that I wouldn't say it.
I mean, just as long as you're on the same page.
Clarify that.
Yeah. Now that you clarified it, I feel better because when you said now I feel better.
Oh God.
Lord have mercy. Anyway, yeah, so he has 12 wives, 102 children, and 578 grandchildren. And now he says he's done. And he obviously he has a problem trying to remember. He said he can't even remember all their names. He has a notebook to try to keep up with all of the names. Can you imagine trying to keep up with 102 children? Forget the grandchildren. That's 578. There's no way that I'm going to be able to keep up with that many people. But he says, Ashlyn and Yolanda, he says he's finally done. So, yeah, what's your thought on that, Ashlyn? Amen.
I'm still stuck.
You okay?
I'm still stuck. No, I'm
Okay.
stuck. It's all right.
Okay. It's okay. I tell you what.
Wait till the next segment.
What's the
What's
name of children? How many children again?
102.
Yeah, how many children again?
8.5.
102.
He 8.5.
Oh, well, I mean,
8.
don't Nick Cannon have like 85 children? Like,
No, Nick Cannon has like 14, I think, or 15.
He has a few. He
Okay.
has a few.
Ain't no few. Few is 2 and 3. Now we're gonna
I
he got a tribe of kids.
I don't talk about my family often, but I am a toll free, and the toll frees are related to Bebe, meaning that we don't die. We literally
multiply.
We multiply. I have 2 first cousins on that. Their both last name is Topher. They're 2 brothers, and one cousin. One of my first cousins has 17 children. The other, his brother, has 14 children. And you can do with that what you will. So that's how my family rolls. I guess I'm considered poor because I only have 3, but it is all to the good. We multiply here on the toll.
Well, you know, in the United States, you don't have wives based on your income. It's actually not even legal here. So that's different. However, I mean it's let me see, because my dad's mother had 17 kids. I mean, back in them days, like they was really having a lot of kids.
Yeah, well, them days,
like,
them days
Yeah, that's because you didn't have to use condoms.
Okay, so today is really becoming shop talk for real. And David McKinney.
I mean, this is what shop talk is.
Yeah,
y'all keep saying stuff. We be in the barbershop. Y'all don't be.
No, but diseases wasn't at an
anointing?
all-time high back then. So you could do your bang bang in the choir room and go about your business. You can't do all of that. No, I can't be fake. I didn't turn 40.
They were all women back then also started having kids at like 14 and 15, which was common. back in those days in like latter years. Most women back in the like early 1900s and stuff were having kids, like started having kids like 14 and 15.
This
And
is
they
A lot of
true.
our
wasn't
great
thinking though.
grandmothers, great aunts, and great like they wasn't 20 and 21 pushing out their first baby. No,
Yeah, I get it. I'm with you.
They wasn't
I'm
thinking though, because you honestly gotta think about that thing. Because if you want to give 100% to a child and you have 8 of them and you want to put them through college in today's world, I don't think how you gonna do it. So I just think, when you sleeping, you need to think or get you a condom.
Yeah.
Well, if I can say this, if I may, I think that it's really sad, because if you think about a woman who is having that many kids, can she ever have her own life? No. She might have the cure for cancer up in her brain. She might be a mover and a shaker. She might be an innovator. She might be somebody that can preach the gospel. She might be somebody who could be a doctor. She could be, but when we, in culture, when women are, supposed to be having babies and that's it, we miss out on those talents, those gifts, those opportunities. And so I think that this is, it's crazy. Now I'm not judging nobody, but for me and my household, 2 was it. And one father, amen. One father,
amen.
With 2 children. Yes, absolutely. So, but yeah, I mean, hey, they're
yeah.
to each
I
his
get
own.
it. I'm with it. But you know what? Yes, you can. Go right ahead.
My grandmother had 20. My grandmother was pregnant over 26 times.
Oh, Jesus.
It was in the country. My grandmother had 20 children. I agree. I think environment and all those all add on to all those things. And so then in those days, women also didn't have a lot of rights. They raised their children. They were in the country. Like, I mean, it's funny what Michi said, but there's a lot of truth to that. So there weren't all these things didn't exist in contraception and that they did, but they, you know what I mean? And they're thinking about it and they're surviving. So at the same time, it seems crazy. I'm not disagreeing with Ashwin. I'm just saying in those days, it seems crazy, but also in those days, these families raised, my mama picked cotton. I know it's crazy for some people, but they were still raising cotton and stuff in the 40s. So these families, they were huge, but they also tended to a farm and so it's like, but the choir, my granddad was a pastor, so the kids were the choir. And I just think then you were able to do that. And in some ways, maybe not all, still become. I think the world we live in today has so many things that people think we should or should not do, that it doesn't allow the opportunity for those things to occur. Right. That's and so we miss out on sometimes the valuable things that those things gave. I learned honor, respect, and dignity, the things that you can't buy. So I understand, but I also honor the reasons why people did those things. And today people don't do those things for the same reasons.
True enough. I agree with you on that. That's good stuff. Listen, we're going to be praying for that young man. I say young, he's a few days older than I am, but we pray that God give him strength as he tends with his 12 wives, 108 children, and 500 plus grandchildren. I can only imagine what a family reunion would look like for him. Anyway, let's get ready to
family reunion.
Every day is a family reunion.
Let me go get my big brother. They show up with 50 of them.
Every day is a family reunion.
I hear you. We'll keep him. We'll keep you abreast of that anything, that whole thing. Anyway, let's get ready to keep moving because y'all throwing me off. Anyway, let's get ready to keep moving. Ashlyn, I'm getting ready to throw it out to you, but as I throw it out to you, just the other day, now, I told y'all I'm getting ready to start doing more traveling and making things happen. I normally go somewhere out the country every year. I don't have anything planned as of yet, although I do want to go to Cabo this year and see what happens, kick my feet up in some Mexican sand this year. I haven't went anywhere yet, but I did the other day get a knock at my door and got an update to my passport. My passport, I didn't know it was getting to expire. And Allegra found a way for me to do this whole thing online. So I never left my house.
Very
including my passport picture. I was able to take it with an app using my iPhone, and that picture is embedded into this particular passport. Now, many of you who know that travel abroad know they don't stamp your passport any longer. I thought that was so whack. I always look forward to getting a stamp. Anyway, they don't stamp them no more. But Ashlyn has an interesting story about the new passports, and thankfully, it didn't affect mine. But Ashlyn, I throw it out to you. The virtual floor is now yours.
Absolutely. So fun fact, they actually do in some countries, they will still stamp your passport. And even in some places you can ask them to stamp your passport and they will, because they still do that. But when I went to Brazil, they absolutely stamped the passport. So it depends on where you go. So recently, I just saw this story come across my desk. Trump is at it again. Trump is at it again. You know, he's put his face on the Kennedy Center. He's, done all these things. He wants to be on the money, the dollar bill, y'all. He's building a ballroom. He is finding ways to embed himself in history. And so now he has just announced that Trump has, the U.S. is going to issue passports featuring Trump's picture to commemorate America's 250th anniversary. Okay. And if you see, I wish I would have sent you this picture, Dito, to show you this picture, because it is absolutely a dictatorship picture. He's got that scowl, that Trump scowl. But anyway, I want you to know that you don't have to fear, because I'm not getting a passport with Trump's picture in it. I don't care. I will all of a sudden use my Canadian passport, my Irish passport, and whatever else other documentation I have. But this will just be in Washington, D.C. for people who renew in person. And I think that there is an audience for this, right? If we really think about it, we've got, the Proud Boys and the whoever else, the MAGA people that want to have Trump on their passport. So he has made it so that they can travel to DC, renew their passport in person, and his picture will be on the renewed passport. But you don't have to worry about that if you are renewing electronically, like Dito just said. You can take your passport picture using an app. You can do everything online and digital. So I just thought that was, that was worth mentioning. If you're in the DC on the East Coast, maybe you don't want to renew in person, but please renew your passport, because you want to be able to leave when you want to leave. Okay. Please, if you don't have a passport, please get one immediately. If yours is getting ready to expire, some airlines will not let you travel out of the country if your passport is within 6 months of expiring. So you need to keep it renewed constantly, so that you have some freedom. But yeah, absolutely. Just, he's just going to try to do everything he can to remain a fixture in U.S. history. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want my legacy to be based on crime and punishment and evil doing. I want my legacy to be about serving people and loving people and doing the will of God for my life and this world, because we're living in a broken world and people are hurting. And so to have somebody just continue the hurt and put more hurt, harm, and danger on people is just despicable. So Trump, have fun with that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Again, I was grateful to be able to do mine online and be able to make that happen. It was an easy process. And again, shout out to Allegra for showing me how to do it. She did hers first, and then she helped me. So it was very easy. I did not want to go to the post office or wherever else to go through all those steps. So again, think about it. You can't do it online. I think it's Gov Plus is the app that I use, Gov Plus. So take a look at that and see what you think. Lastly, as we get ready to go, I'm looking up at the clock. I just want to circle back to shout out everyone who reached out to me last week during our tech talk. I saved this for last on purpose. And last week during our tech talk, we talked about, of course, T-Mobile and the changes that they're making with their service and their perks. But we also talked briefly about Xfinity Mobile. And I had quite a few people hit me up about what we talked about regarding Xfinity Mobile.
Is that a thing?
Xfinity Mobile? Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it is. Xfinity Mobile, in brief, Those of you who are Xfinity users, you do have the option to use Xfinity Mobile. You do get an option to use it for free for 1 year. And every other phone line you bring other than your initial number is $20 a month. And you get unlimited everything. So that is something to consider. I just want to mention that again because a lot of people asked me last week. So again, Xfinity Mobile, they use now. Just FYI, they do use. They're like, what? That sounds. They sound, janky. No, they use Verizon towers. So you all know that Verizon is one of the better in terms of service around the country. So they use their towers. So if you're thinking about switching your carrier, first thing first, you need to make sure that your phone is unlocked unless you're going to buy a brand new phone with Xfinity. So keep that in mind. If you're going to go to Xfinity, have an unlocked phone, meaning that it's paid off with your carrier and that they've unlocked it for use on other carriers. And you can be able to make that happen. Again, the first year is completely free for your first line. Every other line that you bring over is $20 a month, and you can make that happen. Lastly, in terms of tech talk, if you didn't know, I think I mentioned last week about Apple getting a new CEO. That's not my focus. My focus today is you do know that in just a few months, new iPhones will be released again. This year, however, there is a lot of buzz that Apple is going to finally release a foldable iPhone. A foldable iPhone that will, once it unfolds, that it should be about the size
It's going to look like a flip phone.
No, it's going to be about the size of an iPad mini, of which, of course, I got one. So once it flips out, it should be about the size of this iPad mini. So
like that Android phone that they got. I forget which model it is.
Right. Yeah. So Apple is scheduled to come out with their own. And I mentioned this to ask all of us, we're all Apple users. Would you consider getting a flip out phone or a tablet type phone that, again, it would flip, it would be in half to use it however, but when it flips up and opens up, it would be about this size. So
I don't want nothing that big. And then when you open it up, is when you're responding to your text messages and things of that nature. One of my friends had just got the Android one that they just released one. I don't know if it was Samsung or not, but when we was in LA and every time he opened that thing up and we was sitting there, I'm like, everybody can just see your whole conversation, right? Yeah. Like it's just too obvious. You might as well just put all your stuff up on the screen and just sit there and just do what you're gonna do, because it like literally it's too much going on. I'm good on that. That's too much phone. I don't need all that. I got a computer, I got laptops, I got iPads.
What you?
I just need a phone.
I hear that in an effort to start to move out of the iPad line. That's the reason why they created a new computer and all those type of things. But we'll find out. We'll keep you abreast. We won't know. We won't know if it's true until September. But one thing I do know is true is that starting next week, we will now be coming on Thursdays opposed to Wednesdays. So please, ma'am, please, sir, mark your calendars as we are now moving. We are now moving to Thursday, same time, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, but just one day over during the week. All right. So keep that in mind, y'all. I mentioned Xfinity Mobile. My friend Lenora Jones, the older sister of, Lenora Rogers. Lenora Rogers, who is the older sister of Adam Rogers, she chimes in and she says that she has Xfinity Mobile and says that she haven't had any issues. I shout out to Malik Amos, who says, no, I don't want a cutting board on the side of my head answering phone calls. You know what? I can't. Anyway,
that Xfinity Mobile reminds me of what's it? Cricket y'all got down there?
Yeah, we got
Cricket. It's like I like T-Mobile. Thank you, T-Mobile. You guys are great. Thank you for the new perks. Free Wi-Fi on every flight. God, I feel great.
You missed that last week.
Going away. Going away.
Yeah. Anyway, last we haven't had a chance to talk about this in great details, but thank you, Yolanda, for giving us this to put on the screen. That just a few weeks ago, Freedom Radio, our home network, turned 15 years old. We started out as a record label, myself and Ashlyn, back in 2009. 2009 is when that was. I had to go back in my records to find out. And then 2 years later, in 2011, we launched Freedom Radio. And here we are 15 years later. So I want to just take a moment just to say thank you to all of our friends, all of the different hosts that we have had. We still have a bunch of people doing stuff. We still got a bunch of people sending us music, making things happen. So I just want to take a moment to say, on behalf of all of us, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all, I'm looking up at the clock. It's time for us to get ready to go. And before we go, I'm going to do it really quick. Jacory, any closing comments, man? Final thoughts?
Oh, all I want to do is I want to shout out. I know we got 2 Bay Area drafts, Julian Neal and another African-American gentleman, and they're all based out of the church. So I want to get them on the show real soon. But shout out, dreams still coming true.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Lastly, Ashley, any closing comments, final thoughts?
Oh, I would say go see the Michael Jackson movie. I saw it and I was toe tapping the entire time. I absolutely loved it. For those of you that have comments about it not being timeline or detailed, or it was missing some things, go watch the documentary. This is not that. This is an entertaining, wonderful movie with the music, and it comes to life on the screen and is absolutely amazing.
Awesome stuff. All right, y'all, we got to get ready to go. But let me say this as we close, as we get out of here, let me just remind you of this one thing. Stop wasting your strength on things that don't matter. I don't know who that's for, but somebody will hit me up later and tell me, stop wasting strength, energy, and time on things that don't matter. Build your hopes on things eternal. Ikanache. Till the next time on this same Shop Talk Network at this same Shop Talk time, on behalf of Ashlyn Cole, Yolanda Morant, Demetrius Hunter, and Jacory Proto, my name's Demetrius Toll-Free. Till the next time, you know how we do it. You can help us say it. Well, you don't have to say it. We'll play.